All right, guys, how's it going? Thanks to those of you that joined my stream this afternoon. Very grateful for you coming and, kicking back for a couple of hours, talking everything LFC. We'll do another one tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock UK time. All right. So while we were streaming, I did touch on this, but I thought some of you guys, might appreciate a video about it. David Ornstein today has held a Q&A. So it's always a good time to see what he's got to say. I'll be honest with you, from what he said today, I don't see anything new in there. You might read it a different way, but I don't. I think that it kind of verifies what I think, that he's a bit behind on the process a little bit with this one. He's a fantastic, or as Brendan Rodgers would say, fantastic journalist. We always listen to what he has to say, and he could spring something on us at any time. But I do think that Born Again Joyce is leading with the managerial situation at the moment. However, it's still very important to see what he's got to say. And he does put a different spin on things a little bit. But you be the judge of that, right? So he was asked about if there was a time frame for the appointment of the next Liverpool manager. And he said, I'm not aware of a specific time, but you would imagine they would want it comfortably done and dusted well ahead of the return to pre-season training. Now that Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes have been announced as the new sporting director, even though he doesn't officially start until the summer, and there is clarity over Alonso, I'd expect Hughes to finesse a plan, ABC for example, pretty much immediately. That means from quite soon, or maybe it has already happened. He should have a fairly clear direction of travel. Then it is about holding conversations, negotiating and completing the appointment. Naturally, with so much to play for this season and Jurgen Klopp still being in position, they will want to be quite discreet. Plus, it shouldn't surprise us if it's something of a slow burner, because most or all of the candidates are likely to be in jobs, and for many, it's a critical point in the season. It's a huge task and test of the Liverpool hierarchy, but I'm sure they will make a strong appointment and can then set about building on the foundations already laid to try to create a successful new era. See, I don't see anything new in that. Right, it's not criticism or anything. He's just saying similar things that he's been saying recently. So, but I'll leave it with you. And the next thing was specifically about Ruben Amorim. I do apologise. Ruben Amorim. My most recent information is that he is very much in the frame for Liverpool, not Barcelona, and conversations have taken place. But despite many on the outside suggesting he is the top target, I'm not sure that's the case internally. Now, I think some people might think that's a little bit different, but I don't think it is, because I think the likes of him and Born Again Joyce and other people are saying that he's a leading candidate. Even I've tried to say that, like a leading candidate, very strong candidate, but not exclusively the only one. So it makes it sound like, oh, hang on a minute. But I wouldn't think that, guys. It just says, I'm sure that's not the case, that he is the top target, which makes it sound like maybe someone else is the top target. I don't think that's the case here. I think it's just a case of, it's just, a leading candidate is one to be considered. And we've discussed considered, haven't we, in a few videos today and yesterday, as to, how, when someone says considered, are they considered for a passing comment, like should we consider him? Or is it someone they've investigated and spent time on? Both are considered, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Did I explain that very well? If someone goes, what about Motta at Bologna? And someone goes, nah, you're all right. That was a consideration. He was considered, wasn't he? But if someone says, what about Motta at Bologna? And they go, yeah, let's speak to his agent. And they speak and spend a couple of days on that, or a week or two, that's also considered. So there's a difference, isn't there, between the length of consideration? We just don't know, right? So I think that, in my opinion, I think Ruben Amorim is a leading candidate for the job, but I don't, think anything's wrapped up. So I kind of agree with what he's saying, but I don't want you to think that he's trying to allude to something else here. He said, I'm not sure that's the case internally, not because someone else is, which is exactly what I've just said, actually, or he won't become that, but because there isn't one, while Liverpool continue with what will be a thorough process. So again, I think that's kind of what I just said, really. Liverpool going through and looking at the plan A, plan B. Well, anyway, we'll be here all night if we have to explain it all. Clearly, Amorim is a wanted man. and I definitely expect him to leave Sporting this summer. I'm not so sure that clubs are falling all over Amorim, to be honest with you. He's been linked with clubs. Barcelona, the reports in Spain today saying, well, Barcelona is Spain, but people in Barcelona, it's Catalonia, right? So they don't see themselves as Spanish, but you know what I mean. I did a video today about that. Sport, which is the mouthpiece of Barcelona, have said that Barcelona officials think Ruben Amorim will go to Liverpool. They don't want to pay the release clause, which is they're quoting as 20 million euros, although Ornstein suggests it's 10. And Barcelona are also saying, oh, he's not experienced enough for us, which is probably because they can't get him, maybe. Don't know. But he's basically saying he's a wanted man. And I don't think he just means by Liverpool. I think he means by numerous clubs. And he says, I definitely expect him to leave Sporting this summer, which I think everyone does. I hear the Premier League is his preference, and we don't know for sure yet, but there could well be multiple vacancies. So even if Liverpool do decide to go for him, he will also need to decide if they are where he wants to go. Reports in Portugal from people close to Amorim suggest he would find it hard to resist Liverpool. That was the last claim we had on that front. Whoever takes Amorim will need to pay Sporting for his services. I've been told the figure this summer is 10 million euros. Others have reported higher. But whatever the precise figure, it is a lot lower than it was when Chelsea spoke to him before appointing both Potter and then Pochettino. There's no way in a million years Ornstein's going to quote 10 million if someone at Liverpool Football Club hasn't told him that. Now, that might not be said as a statement of fact. He will cost 10 million, David. Right? No. What Liverpool might have said, we can only speculate, is, well, we've heard we can actually get him for 10 million. So there's no way Ornstein's going to say that if he hasn't been told that by someone. But I would assume, and I think I said this today, and what I think's going on now, or what will be happening now, that this week, that Liverpool officials will be trying to determine exactly pound for pound what that release clause is, and all the conditions, everything that would be required to trigger it. And that's part of the process. It doesn't mean that Liverpool will trigger it though, guys. So, if you do read someone say, Liverpool are exploring the contract clause or whatever, it's just part of the process, right? They're going to do this with everyone. But I think you guys know that you're not thick around here, are you? I'm just the thick one around here. Others have reported blah, blah, blah. Right, something else that we've discussed previously. An additional point worth mentioning is that one of Amorim's key staff members is Paulo Barreira, who is an injury prevention, conditioning expert and used to work at Liverpool. If things do develop in the direction of Amorim to Liverpool, Barreira is probably someone to keep an eye on. So those are a couple of things or comments that Ornstein's come out with today. I think you will agree with me that there's nothing new in there, right? But he's not trying to claim, he's not written a news article saying latest news, exclusive or anything, has he? He's been asked by supporters, what do you think about this? And he can only go with what information has been said to him the last time he spoke to someone, right? But I still think that that Born Again Joyce at the Times is going to be the one that leads with this at the moment. It doesn't really matter who goes with it, but I just feel that since Edwards has come back, that he's the one being briefed first. And it could literally be a case where they tell Joyce at 8 o'clock on the dot, put the phone down and then pick up the phone to Ornstein, and it both comes out at the same time. I just get the feeling that Joyce is the one to pay more attention to at the moment. And I do think that he will surface soon. I have no idea that that's the case. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm told, look out for an article tonight from Joyce. No one said that to me this week, not that I can think of. I just feel like he'll chime in with something. But when I say that, I don't think he's going to come out with like some great big fucking article saying new Liverpool manager appointed. But we have to listen to what he says. And it might be an article about something that's not really exciting, but there might be a key sentence or paragraph in it at the bottom, for example, which might be something that we should consider. I would urge you to look out for any references to Thiago Motta at Bologna. I've been speaking about him today. But again, I think that he and others that have been mentioned, I did a video about them, no idea when it was, probably around the weekend. I think they only come into play if there's a problem with Amorim. At the moment, we're hearing bits here and there about Motta, and we know that his betting odds have been slashed within an hour of me making that video today by 50%. But that's not enough for me to suggest anything's going wrong with Amorim. If Amorim comes out, no, hang on a minute, let me rephrase this. If we start to see credible reports about Motta, if Joyce comes out and says, oh, this is Motta, you know, that's under consideration, and gives him a little bit more emphasis than another name that he might mention, you know, because sometimes he might write a paragraph about Motta, and then at the end it might go, and such is available too. You know, the emphasis would be on Motta. I don't think I'm explaining myself very well. It's the end of the day. I'm very tired. And my chicken's in the air fryer. It's not a euphemism. No, it's not, guys. So yeah, I'm going to get my dinner now, and then I'm going to watch a bit of a trial I'm watching. I like to watch trials live on television. This one's from Wisconsin, where I've got a lot of friends. I'm going to watch that, and then I'm going to watch the game, and I hope it's a good one. So, not the best of videos probably, but at least I've told you what Ornstein's got to say. And I think that if you watch the rest of my videos today, you're kind of up to speed on where I am with all this stuff anyway. All right, that's it for today, I hope. Oh, one thing I will say is that Liverpool are obviously at home this evening, and even when they're away it applies, but especially at home, you know, people tend to talk, executives talk, business people talk, people get pissed and talk, people go for a drink after the game and talk. So it's, you know, often within, you know, a few hours of a game finishing, you might hear something, you might hear something tomorrow. I always look at when we play, and then I will look at the next day or two, and, you know, if a claim's made tomorrow, for example, it might have come from someone at Anfield the night before. Do you get me drift? So Liverpool play tonight. Listen out for, well, always listen out for Ornstein. Listen out for Born Again Joyce. And let's see if anything comes out in the next 24, 48 hours, because that might be pretty interesting. All right. Actually, in this video, I don't think I did any better than Ornstein did in that Q&A, to be honest, because he just repeated himself, did he? Ah, dear me. I'm tired. I think you can probably tell I'm tired. Anyway, if you do appreciate my efforts, please thumbs up the video. Please leave a comment. You know, my question to you would be, do you see anything new there? Well, I don't really see anything new there from Ornstein. Not criticism, but just facts. And if you want to get me a coffee or a beer, then please hit the super thanks button. Please read the video description, join the mailing list, follow me on social media. Everything that you need to know, the chat room, everything is all in the video description. All right, guys, have a good evening. Let's hope we get a decent result tonight. And I hope that you really enjoy the game. All right, if I don't speak to you tonight, I will speak to you tomorrow morning, I hope, and 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Thanks, guys.